Good afternoon to all of you. Today we are here to propose a strategy on achieving environmental sustainability at Kaimai Cheese Company by applying principles of environmental sustainability management followed by two international companies, that is Interface and Danone. So starting with the Kaimai company, Nisha is here, and let me introduce to my team members. This is Vince, this is Ranjit, myself Cheryl, and this is Nisha. So Nisha will be carrying on with the Kaimai company, and she'll be explaining you about Kaimai Cheese Company. Thank you.
So we have tried to develop an environmental sustainability strategy for our Kaimai Cheese Company. We have used Interface Flour and Danone companies' policies. We have mixed and used some of their principles and good factors which we can incorporate in our company as well. We all know about Interface Flour and its policy of Mission Zero. It's very well known. Interface Flour is example for all companies that achieving environmental sustainability is not only profitable, but it's also respectful. Since we know a lot about Interface Flour and its Mission Zero policy that it has achieved, we shall now move on to explain you and introduce our target company of Kaimai. Kaimai Cheese Company is a local New Zealand-based company that produces cheese. It has also got its own cafe. It was first founded by Ross McCallum, Wyatt Creech, and John Luxton. It's located near the Mata region and the Kaimai Ranges, and Kaimai loosely translates to food source. In the picture you can see the main founder of the company, Mr. Ross McCallum, is just outside the Kaimai Cheese Company and he's got blue cheese in his hands. Next, please. So, with its inception, the factory began with the transporting of French-style soft cheese. And after that, because the value of New Zealand dollar strengthened, it made this uneconomical for the company. Hence, they then tied up with the Mata Cheese Company, and still they're working together, and they produce cheese with those quality brands. Moreover, when you're visiting Kaimai Cheese Company, you will notice that it looks very similar to an old style of butter factory that was in 1920. It is very cleverly used the troughs and the vents, and it is just replicated its model. We can see it in the next slide. You can see it's almost similar. That's the butter factory in 1920, and this is the Kaimai Cheese Company today. Next slide, please. And these are the products that are manufactured by Kaimai. I'm sorry we weren't able to distribute like the previous teams because we don't know how many cheese lovers are there in the class. So as you can see, it's Kaimai Camembert, Kaimai Bright, and then there is Kaimai Double Cream Camembert. I'm sure this tastes very good. And these are the remaining products: creamy blue, crumbly blue, feta, mature cheddar, and wash rope. Next slide, please. Okay, we see that all the tasty products are produced by Kaimai Company, the cheeses. But the problem is when such cheese is produced, there is a lot of waste generated, especially because the production of cheese occurs. There's only 10% cheese produced and 90% is whey. And previously whey was just dumped out in the fields and there was a lot of waste, but now they have found many techniques to use that as a consumable source and edible item. But still, all the water that is used for cleaning of mainly the machines and the equipments after the pasteurization of milk and all those processes, that creates a lot of, that's a waste of water, and that's why we are focusing that Kaimai Company should adopt a sustainable policy, and we are trying to develop it by using Mission Zero by Interface Flour and Danone, which is a French conglomerate and a very famous food industry. And its policy of Nature 2020, we tried to embed them together and produce a very good policy, which is known as Wealth with Green, and it's for 5 years. And I hope that after its success, Kaimai would be also one of the leaders. We could study Kaimai as a case for maintaining environmental sustainability as a local company. Now Ranjit would be explaining you our second company, which is in the same industry, Danone industry, and its Nature 2020 policy. Over to Ranjit.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll give you the brief description about Danone company. Danone came into existence in 1919. Isaac Caruso, who lives in Barcelona, he found that many Spanish children were suffering from intestine infections. So he decided to introduce product for children's, that is yogurt. In he named the company Danone on his son's name, Daniel, whose nickname was Danone. In 1929, Danone moved to France. There they built their first French industry, and creates a slogan for their company, that is health and benefit. Danone yogurt is best for deserts, for health and safety. In 1941, Danone moved to.
No, leave it on the floor. You've got to be on the other side of it.
Okay.
You're standing. No, you've got to be that way. You're standing in the green, right?
Danone moved to New York. Danone moved to New York with his wife in 1941. There they saw an advertisement that a yogurt company is for sale. They buy that goodwill. They buy the goodwill of that company, and then they start their milk products in New York. Back. If we talk about the environment sustainability, the company's raw material came from agriculture and natural resources. Natural resources like sunlight, soil, and water, by which they are able to produce healthier food. They're transforming waste into resources and use material for sustainable resources, promoting agriculture that produce a healthy and balanced food supply, is competitive, creates economic and social value, and respect natural ecosystem. Now I'd like to play a video. Sorry, I will talk about that in 2000, Danone had adopted Nature 2020 for a span of 10 years. In 2008, Danone was able to achieve that by 30%, and which was a very good growth. And then in year 2013, that percentage was reached to 37.3%, 37.4%. The current goal of Danone is to achieve a greater than 50% reduction by 2020. Now I'd like to play a video for Danone. Yeah.
This is a delicious and healthy Danone yogurt. To make it, we need cows, grass and grain, strawberries, busy bees, rich soil, rain, sunshine, and of course, a stable climate. So if our business is all about producing healthy food from milk and water, it's obvious that healthy food begins with healthy nature. Simple. So we have a plan to help our business and nature thrive together. It's called Nature 2020. Let's explain. Today, nature faces growing pressures, and that impacts our resources and our business. Lower yields, higher prices, and volatile markets are growing challenges every day. So we've been working for a while to reduce our impacts, and we've already achieved a lot. We've cut our carbon footprint by 37% in 5 years, and kept down on emissions flat while growing our business. We can do more to scale up support for nature. Nature 2020 is focused on 4 key commitment areas: climate, water, packaging, and agriculture. This is where we can make the biggest difference, and we've created a set of goals for each. Climate change affects water, crops, and livelihoods across our food chain. So we continue to measure our footprint, reduce it to more than 50%, and make sure down emissions don't rise as business grows. And we'll help nature fix carbon by restoring ecosystems and eliminating deforestation from our supply chain. We sell natural water as a product, and we use water across our business. So we've been protecting water ecosystems around our existing and future sources, using a tool developed in collaboration with Ramsar and IUCN. We'll also improve how we use water by measuring our water footprint, cutting factory water use by 60%, and setting new ambitious guidelines on wastewater. Today, packaging waste is bad news for consumers, environment, and our business. So by 2020, we'll help scale up innovative collection models in countries where they're most needed, and we'll turn waste into resources for our packaging. All sorts of packaging. By using next-generation biomaterials and moving away from oil-based plastics, we'll develop a 100% bio-based, 100% recyclable bottle. When it comes to agriculture, we're finding ways to source sustainably, promoting competitive agriculture that respects natural ecosystems and cycles. With farmers, we'll develop new tools, models, and solutions, driving smart farming. This is our plan, and these are our main goals. So where do you come in? We need new approaches and smarter ideas. And we can only make a difference in partnership with our communities, from our farmers to stakeholders to our consumers, and everyone in between. And we need you to be part of the journey. Join us so we can change things together and continue to bring health through food to as many people as possible.
Thanks. Now I'd like to invite Vince, who will give the recommendation for Kaimai Company.
Thank you, Rajit. Good afternoon, everyone. In terms of recommendation for Kaimai Cheese Company, Kaimai can use a mix of all the strategy used by Interface Flour and Danone in order to develop its own 5 years planned and environmentally sustainable policy, wealthy and green. The main goal of policy will consist of the following steps: meeting all the current environmental laws and regulations, educate the employees at all levels about their duties towards the planet by providing them training and information, publish the policy and hand it out to all the employees as well as the subcontractor. Continuous Continuous monitoring of environmental and sustainability output, appealing customers, stakeholders, and suppliers to locate paths to achieve sustainability. Energy management by use of efficient equipment and machinery. Pollution control by reducing in-house carbon footprint that also leads to saving costs by using carbon reduction techniques. Minimize the usage of water by either using less amount of water in productions or recycle waste water or using rainwater. Eliminate waste by recycling on-site waste, removing all the redundant substance, and developing a comprehensive recycling plan. We believe that Kaimai will be more successful in fields of environmental protection in the future. Thank you for listening. Now is the question time. Let's welcome our partner to answer the question. Thank you.
You've made a good approach to understanding one of New Zealand's most important industries, the dairy industry. What was the most interesting aspect of this project for you?
The most important project was researching the other all the companies, like in the dairy industry. There's first of all, we all know the main company Fonterra. That was supposed to be our main, but we cannot be. I mean, it's a multinational company. We had to go for a small scale company. And Kaimai Cheese Company seemed to be the right kind because it was local. It was not so huge, but it doesn't mean that because it's a small company we targeted it, because its products are known even overseas. They do export, and they're very tasty. I've tried myself. I went there. So it was the best part was I got to know the main industry which brings it's the major power of economy in New Zealand. So that's the best part about that.
You've mentioned, obviously, Fonterra being sort of the elephant in the room. How likely is it that the Kaimai Cheese Company would be able to influence Fonterra through the adoption of Mission Zero?
I think Fonterra has taken like decades to reach where it is right now. And Kaimai was just established in, I guess, 2005. So it's going to take pretty long time to reach there. It's the environmental sustainability policy is something that gives you results in a long time. And I'm sure Fonterra might have implemented the policies like, I don't know, many years back. So that's why they're the elephant in the room. And for this to become the elephant, it's going to take pretty long time. Same as much as Fonterra, yeah.
But Fonterra is a large company, that's why it's taking long, whereas Kaimai is a small company and it shouldn't take that long. Any reason why is it gonna take so long?
I think you didn't get his question. He said that it's a huge company in terms of economic returns, and it's a multinational company. And this one is a local cheese company, and it has to like develop into a multinational. It has to establish its brands, its shops in overseas. It doesn't have that. I think in New Zealand itself, there's just one, the Kaimai Cheese Company, and the Tomato Cheese. It's his partner. So that's what he was asking about, that why it's taking so long. You were asking. You just got it the other way. What do you want another question to ask me?
You said it's gonna take long for Kaimai
to become the elephant in the room, not to adopt this policy.
Sustainability policy.
No, he said that when can this become as huge as Fonterra? That's what he was asking. That's what I replied. Any other question? Oh, sure.
One of the suggestions you made was that Kaimai can take all the ideas of Mission Zero and all the ideas from down on. Both, as we know, are large multinational, well-resourced companies. As you know, you've been to Kaimai, small company. So they're going to have to focus and prioritise and go for quick wins to show that it's worth going on this sustainability journey. So you've made a few suggestions there of the top priorities. Is there anything you want to add in terms of what would be the most important, most urgent, specific steps that they could take to begin the sustainability journey for Kaimai?
So the most important would be in the water waste. They could do. We could develop a water treatment plant to get rid of the chemicals that are being used there. In order to, because there is, I'm not sure about the technique that is used, but there is a system which cleans the whole factory with the help of chemicals, and those chemicals are drained. That has sodium hydroxide chemicals, and they're very harmful. So a plan to treat that chemically, I mean, that's the major chunk that could be released about that.
Any other questions from anybody else? Okay, give my hand. You had lots of knowledge of how they operate. That was really good, and you used that information in your research. That's really good.
And the PowerPoint and the handle is the color is really feel like mission 0.
I think the video you've given is very good for us to have better understandings.
Yeah, I thought you gave a very good delivery throughout the presentation. Very clear, concise, very professional.
Okay, there is improvement.
There is improvement. Just a small one with the smash slide transition that you used. I would tend to not use that because it implies disaster.
Yes.
And I just think your handout could have used a little bit more detail as well.
I recommended all the team members involved much more in the presentation process.
Yeah, I think the teamwork need to improve.
I think there was lots of context in the PowerPoint slide, whereas there should be only bullet points.
I will take care of that.
Yeah, that's my main point too. As soon as I saw all that text, my habit is to read. I'm a fast reader. And so in your presentation, you were saying something else, and I just had to ignore the slides through your whole presentation and just concentrate on the speaker. The speakers were fine. They were doing a very good job. But trying to listen and read is an impossible task, certainly for men and me. Right. Okay. Any other areas of improvement? Any thoughts, suggestions as they move towards their final report that they put together? No? Any other positive points you want to make? Yep.
I thought all of your content was well researched. You had some well identified points, and you stayed on topic throughout the presentation. So well done.
I think all the team members offered very good contact with the audience, which is very good, and we can get better focus on your presentation.
Yeah, most of the team members knew what they were talking about, and they don't have to refer to any of the notes, so that was really good.
You gave one illustration with a slide which had a picture on, and the picture was meaningful. The picture of Ross. So good. More of that from other presentations. A picture says 1,000 words. You've got to grips practically with a key New Zealand industry, the dairy industry in New Zealand, and I think you've helped us all here understand the components which are required to make success. And I think with the choice of your found object, the video, that was an excellent piece of video, placed I think just at the right point in your presentation to wake us up, and it was an excellent exemplar of how a company with plenty of resources like Danone can help communicate to its stakeholders what it's doing in the sustainability area. It's a great piece of video, and impressive, I thought, that video, how at the end it said, hey, we want your ideas, we're open to your suggestions. Very impressive to find that and share that and show that with us. I think this presentation, the timing has worked extremely well. It's segued quite neatly between the previous presentation. It's provided some answers to questions that we might have had from that previous presentation. My main suggestion to you will be make sure you get into funneling down key, urgent and important specifics for the company. I do commend that you practically have visited the factory and seen what it looks like. In your report, the picture that you showed us, you've squashed it up narrowly, and it's tall. It doesn't look like that tall. It's more squat. So make sure you keep the perspective right. You turned it into a bit of a cathedral in that one. Sorry, I shouldn't be giving negative things at this point, but just but make sure you keep the perspective of your images. Any other comments, celebrations from anybody else? All the same? Nope. Right. Well done. Give them hands.